Hello, I'm Colin from Sam Webb's. Today I'm at the Capitol with two people.
My name is Andrea Aggert, and I'm the architect of the Capitol.
My name is David L. Finnegan, and I'm a project architect with the Office of the Architect of the Capitol.
Today I'm going to be asking them some questions. So our first question is, who was the original architect of the state capitol?
The original architect of this Illinois State Capitol building was John C. Cochran, who worked in partnership with Alfred H. Pekinard in 1867, just right after the Civil War.
How old is this building?
This building is almost 150 years old. The construction started in 1868 and finished in 1888. However, the first legislative session was held about midpoint of that 20-year span. The building continued to be under construction for about 10 years after.
How many capitols has there been?
We are standing in Illinois' 6th Capitol building. There was one other Capitol, the old state Capitol here in Springfield. There were 3 others prior to that in Vandalia, and then there was just one building in Kaskaskia. So this is the 6th Capitol building.
What is your favorite part?
I think it's difficult to mention just one. I love being in the rotunda because of the beautiful inner dome, the oculus at the top, which is the state seal. I also love experiencing the dome from all over Springfield. When we're driving around town, you can see the dome majestically appear above many other structures that the city has. And it's always a beacon for us to remember the center part of Springfield and that we are the state capital of Illinois.
Can you tell me a little about the building?
It's the state Capitol building. It was made large enough to hold all of the offices of state government, including the governor, secretary of state, treasurer, auditor, now called the comptroller, superintendent of public instruction, the attorney general, and many other offices, in addition to the chambers of the legislature, the House and the Senate chamber. This is actually the tallest domed Capitol building in the United States. It's even taller than the National Capitol in Washington, D.C. And when this building was completed in the 1870s, I should say when the dome was completed, this was the tallest building in North America for about just about a decade.
What do you think the hardest part of maintaining a historical building in a modern age is?
One of the hardest is finding the materials and products to replace or repair something that is here in our state capitol. One thing I know David likes to often tell people is that anything above eye height is most likely a mirage or not real. The craftsmen and trades who originally worked on the building, at that time the labor was cheap. Materials were very expensive to get because it was so far from anywhere else, and the materials had to come in either by horseback or by rail car. So we've modified those materials today, but we still like to replicate some of them. For example, a carton pierre and a scagliola. Those are 2 that aren't readily produced, but you'll find them here in our State House, and we're also replicating them in our current construction project.
Thank you so much for speaking to me today.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
You too.
Tell us about the room.
We are currently in the House of Representatives. This is the chamber that they meet in many days out of the year. They're typically in session between January and May, and again they come back for a veto session in October or November. This room currently holds 118 members, Democrats on the left and Republicans on the right. The large lights or the chandeliers you see behind me, they weigh 750 pounds. They are 17 feet tall. They are operated via a chandelier lift that raises and lowers them that we can clean and relamp. The first legislative session was held here in January of 1877. Our current Speaker of the House is Emmanuel Chris Welch, who just took over from Michael Madigan a few years ago. Many bills and laws have been passed and debated in here at all hours of the day. We are very proud of the historical woodwork, the gallery seating that accommodates visitors, both in the north and the south, and the beautiful carpet and the painting and murals that we have on the ceiling.
Tell me a little bit about this room.
We're standing on the second floor, south corridor of the state capitol, and we are surrounded by 42 portraits of past Illinois state governors going back 200 years, starting with our first territorial governor, Shadrach Bond, in 1818, and all the way up to most recently, Governor Bruce Rauner has his portrait down at the far end. What happened is that a large number of these portraits used to be in the governor's mansion downtown Springfield, but there grew to be too many of them. The collection was too large, and so in the 1880s and 1890s, they were moved to the governor's office, which is in the east wing of the state capitol. But soon there was the same problem. There were more and more governor's portraits, and they were running out of wall space. So in the 1950s, all of the portraits were moved out to this corridor, creating the Hall of Governors.
Coming soon, the best things ever of history in Springfield, Illinois, blooper reels, state archives, and more of the state capitol coming soon. Hope you enjoyed.